What's up, guys? Many of you know me, a lot of you don't know me. My name is Sammy Lawerence, and I am the creator and owner of Music Inc., which is the channel you are watching right now. For 2026, I decided that I would do a little Q&A as a placeholder for a channel trailer, since I don't have a channel trailer or a Q&A because I've just kind of neglected that. I mean, I started this when I was like 14. I'm now 18 going on 19. So, interesting. This is my 5th year doing music. In late 2025, I posted a little Q&A. I asked you guys to send in questions and I would answer them in video format. And while it has taken a very long time for me to get to actually answering them, that is what I'm doing in today's video. Welcome to Q&A with Sammy, who doesn't know how to do Q&As because he's never done a Q&A before. By the way, my pronouns are he, they. The first question, by the way, I don't know who asked these are all anonymous. The first question says, "You're gay." I think my partner put that one in. Yeah, I am. Thanks. Next question. Question number 2. How are you doing and what's your favorite song you've made? That's a really good question. I think at the time of putting out this form, I wasn't doing very well, which is why I was like getting a lot of questions like this. At the time of filming, I'm actually doing pretty well. I would say I live in my own apartment. Well, not my own apartment. I live in an apartment with family. And I do music. I work full-time as a cashier right now. As for my favorite song I've made. So my favorite song that I've made, it hasn't been released yet, so I don't want to name that. But my favorite song that I fully produced, released is, that's a hard one because I really do like how Audrey's Lullaby turned out. Audrey's Lullaby turned out really good. I really liked how that one turned out. And then you have What Remains. Guys, What Remains is, I freaking love What Remains. It's one of my favorite ones. But there's also Belora's Lament was a passion project that I had been working on since before the channel started. And then there's just so many that I like, and there's still more that I'm working on that I love, and it's all of that. But for now, at this point in time, January 29th, 2026, my favorite song that I've produced is going to be What Remains. That's going to be my favorite song. Question number 3. Okay, this one's a really long one. I'm just going to read this verbatim. If you had to make a YouTuber apology video, which of the existing YouTuber apology videos would you do? Assume that you copy the script and video style word for word, except change it slightly to fit your specific situation. I'm gonna have to say Logan Paul, just because it's so iconic. I mean, obviously, Toxic Gossip Train is really iconic, but I've made a severe and continuous lapse in judgment is I'm gonna say Logan Paul. Logan Paul is gonna be the one that I'm gonna go with. Now that I think about it, I might also say the girl who danced as an apology. She did that interpretive dance to apologize. I don't even know what she did, but I've seen the video. Alright, question 4. How does it feel to be disowned by your parents? I believe one of my brothers sent that one in. For anybody who's unaware, I was sort of kicked out / slightly disowned by my parents in late summer of 2025, which is why I live here, which is why everything's kind of changed in the production of Music Inc., all of that. At the time of receiving this, when I first read this, I wouldn't say that it felt bad. I wouldn't say it feels bad now. I do talk to my parents for now, at least, because there's still some legal things we have to settle and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that by any means it ended well. I will likely be removed from the will, which is very fun. But that's not anything. I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's more of a shock than anything else. Question number 5. If you had to choose fingers or toes? I don't know what the context for this is. I'm gonna just say fingers because I need them to play piano and also to write music. I need my fingers. So, I'm gonna go with fingers. You do need toes for balance, but also my toes hurt all the time, so I'm gonna go with fingers. I would rather prosthetic toes than try to coordinate with prosthetic fingers. Personally, I want to keep my fingers. Question number 6. What is your top New Year's goal for 2026? I don't know if this is like, I'm gonna answer this in regards to the channel. In regards to the channel, I would love to finally hit like 250 subs. We've been stuck at like 140 something for like a year now, and I would really like to hit 250. I know that's like such a small goal, but like once you start climbing that hill, like you really get there. But also like release wise, I would love to release some of the music that we're working on. I've got 2 songs based on 1 game. I got a start of a series of songs. We're doing a series of songs. Maybe finally release 12 Minutes the musical. I know that's not realistic, but hey dog, we could pretend. One of my goals fell through already. I'm not gonna say it because it was kept under wraps for a reason, but we tried to get a voice actor and we couldn't get him, and that's okay. Shout out to him. Y'all don't know who he is, but we do. And we love that we even tried to reach out to hire him. So yeah. Question number 7. What sparked your passion to create music and art? So my passion for art actually came from my sister. Growing up with my sister, I would watch her draw all the time. I would watch her, do a bunch of like artsy fartsy stuff, and it stemmed directly from that. I wanted to be my sister, so I dove in. I started doing art. I did art, and I've gotten to a point where I feel like my art's half decent. Show some of my art on screen. And as for music, I have always loved music. I can't pinpoint a time where I didn't love music, but to create, to write my own music, that was sparked by random encounters. I cannot lie. When I started watching their stuff, all I wanted to do was work with them, and then I was like, but I can do this myself. And that's why I started writing stuff. That's why we wrote Date Everything. That's why I'm working on stuff right now as we speak. I have some costuming stuff, some casting stuff to get done. Yo, I have some candidates to look through later, so that's gonna be great. But just so many things, how I was raised, who I grew up around, they really influenced me to be such like a creative body and mind and soul. So I don't know, I feel like that was more of a nurture over nature type thing. Question number 8. Ooh, we're getting into the nitty gritty. Which genre of music do you enjoy composing the most? So I don't really have a genre. Sorry, there's a knot in my hair. I don't really have a genre of music that I specifically compose. I've been working on some jazz pieces. We got a couple of jazz pieces coming out in 2026. Just to like tease. However, I will say I really enjoy orchestral pieces. I like composing for piano solos. I've composed 2 piano solos. Some of you may or may not know that. Some of you may or may not know that on our Volume 4 instrumental album, there's a piano version of Audrey's Lullaby. What? And then obviously Running from Chickens is that is a complete piano solo. There's nothing other than piano in that. Number 9. Sorry, I just peeked a little bit at it. This is my brother, I can tell. What moment in your childhood do you want to go back and slap the shit out of yourself? I don't really remember much of my childhood, but I'd say probably any time I was that like, actually, because I grew up, you know, I was like really smart, I got good grades, I knew a lot of stuff, and so I would be like, actually, that's factually incorrect. So I was one of those kids. However, I'm not proud of it, and I wish I could go every single time. Like younger me was like, did you know that anglerfish don't actually like mate traditionally, and instead the men like fuse their bodies to the female fish, and they can choose to use them as mating if they so wish. I would slap myself for that stuff, like that kind of stuff specifically. And also every single time I like literally harassed my sister, like I'd slap myself for that too. Question 10 is, how's your husband and son? So for anybody unaware, there is a niche group of people on the internet who believe that I'm 26 years old and have a husband and kids. That's where this question comes from. To answer the question, my husband is amazing. Thank you. He's great. He bought me, look at the ring he bought me. Quick, me, edit on a bling ring. Why? Why? I don't have a husband. Question 11. How long on average does it take you to write a song? A month? Maybe? Every song's different, so like I wrote the entirety of What Remains, like instrumental, lyric, harmonies, everything like that. I wrote all of that in the span of 1 week. However, I was working on The Entity, our Amanda the Adventurer song, for literal years. I was working on it for years. And I feel like me knowing that I worked on that for literal years to get it to where it was. It went through so many rewrites, so many restarts. Like it just depends on the song. So like it could be anywhere from like a year to a week. Like there's not like a blanket timeline for like an average, because like the average, it averages out to be like 9 months if I like do all of the math. So I'd say realistically 1 to 2 months. All right, question 12. 12. Who's your biggest inspiration? Your mom. No, but actually, I've talked about this before. Random Encounters inspires me a lot. They know. But, Random Encounters, JT Music. JT Music is the reason why I wrote The Entity. Specifically. Specifically the bridge section in the 6/8 and the minor key. What's a dream song you want to create? Oh, buddy, do I have... Whew. From day one, a Subway Surfers song. I want to write the Subway Surfers song. I cannot express to you how badly I want to make this a reality. And once we start up our Patreon, once we're making money and stuff, we are totally doing it. Question 14. Band. Don't have one. The Pentatonics, but I wouldn't consider them a band. They're a group. I would say Mother is gonna be my final answer. The last thing you want on your Burger King burger is somebody else's foot fungus, but it seems that's what you get. Nah, but seriously, number 15. Do you live in my walls? Yes. Number 16. What's your favorite instrument? Harp. Love harp. Number 17. When did you first realize you wanted to make music? Like a pinpoint, I can't like Rolodex it and this is the specific time. Anyways, I can't pinpoint an exact time, but sometime during my freshman year of high school, I decided I wasn't going to sit around and hope that people wanted to work with me. I was just going to work with myself. I was gonna do music, and I wanted a fan base. I wanted people to want to be in my music, and I have that now, kind of. Big is the current Music Inc. team. So, Kat and Aaliyah / Iman / they go by many names. We love them. Kat has been in such amazing productions. Oh, sorry, myself, I'm Sammy Lawerence, as I introduced myself at the beginning of the video. Thanks, Jeremy. But Kat has been in many things, but they generally really help out with like thumbnails, like lyrics, like ideas, you know, stuff like that. And I generally do a lot more of the technical stuff since I'm on site at all times. Like, I have costumes thrown off to the side right now. I figure, when Kat eventually moves in, or well, we move in together, I figure they'll probably do a lot of costuming stuff too, if they want, if they so wish. We haven't really discussed it, so this isn't the greatest time. Anyways, currently 3 people. Question number 19. We're almost done. We got 5 more questions. If you were to have one superpower, what would it be? Shape-shifting? I feel like unlimited money, aka like being rich. That's not gonna happen. Alright, no, question number 20. 20. What is your favorite vocal range? Like, to sing, specifically for me, I love singing soprano. I couldn't imagine singing anything but soprano. Alright, question 21. How long does filming normally take? God, forever. So, filming for Date Everything we split up into 2 sessions. We had a 3-hour session, and then we had I believe a 5-hour session, so altogether 8 hours. We had a 4-hour session for the Circus Baby Bop, and you saw how little footage we had for that one. And then we did, I believe, a 7 or 8 hour session for Balora's Lament, and that was like non-stop filming. That was non-stop. We were just shot after shot after shot after shot. We did not stop for that. And then even though the footage corrupted, we did do a filming session for Grand Adventure. That was a 12-hour filming day. And we had also filmed for 5 hours the day before. So, filming can take a while. Alright, question number 22. What is your current favorite Music Inc. song? January 29th, 2026, my favorite song that I've produced is going to be What Remains. That's going to be my favorite song. It's What Remains. Yeah. It's What Remains. Yeah, because that was what's your favorite one that you produced? Yeah, I told you I'm reading these blind, so. Question number 23. Would you rather have 10 pet cockroaches or be one cockroach's pet? That's a good question. I would say where, like, the cockroach has, like, human intelligence and is like, yo, what's up, dog? I'm a cockroach. But, like, is it like a role reversal where he's like, yeah, I'm a cockroach. Cool, I own you now. Or is it like a cockroach? Like, there's so many, like, unknown variables here of owning 10 cockroaches. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna go the safe route. Oh my gosh. This is a long one. Do you think music theory is necessary to be a musician? Like, I know all musicians know some theory, but do you need to be well versed in it or no? So, some of you guys may know, some of you may not. I'm a college dropout. I was going to college for music. I dropped out. It just worked out better for me to drop out. I'm happier being a college dropout than I. However, I will say this. The music theory classes that I did take, and yeah, some of them helped. Like, you'll probably notice that the chord progression's a little bit better in some of the newer songs that we have. Or just the chord progression, really. However, nothing that I learned was stuff that I didn't already know. I've been doing music related stuff for 8 years. You know, I have that as an upper hand. I would definitely, if you're first starting out, the piano roll, if you're doing actual sheet music, if you're doing even just like beats, if you're just doing like beats for underneath a rap, you should give yourself a little crash course at the very least. Learn one of the biggest things I would suggest learning is the rule of 4. Generally, it's 4 measures before something new is introduced, although it changes depending on your time signature. Learn key signatures, learn time signatures, learn major versus minor. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know like the pentatonic scales and the bass line. Give yourself something to work with, and the rest kind of comes naturally. At least it does for me. Not always, not everybody. I will say music composition and theory is a lot harder than people want to say it is, because it isn't just, I hear it in my head, I put it on the page. It's really not, because there are tunes that I have stuck in my head that are supposed to be songs, and they can't be turned into songs because I don't know how to translate them there. So definitely, like I said, crash course. But I don't think that you need to know, like, you don't need to know everything. Like, you don't need to know how to transpose. Most programs will transpose for you. I know how to transpose just to make it easier on me, but you don't have to. Whoever asked this, I actually have no idea who asked this. That's a really good question though. I'm not a professional. I'm just a weird guy who makes music videos in his apartment with his friends. I feel like that's how a lot of people start out. Anyways, this has been a really long video, and thanks for watching. Yeah, so we got big stuff in the works, and we're super excited. So before you guys leave today, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to share with all your friends all of the amazing questions that just got answered today. And if you want to ask your own questions and possibly get answers from me or anybody else, you can leave those in the comments below, and we will look through them all. I will give you a hint for the next song that we're working on, and your hint is gonna be the color pink. Oh my gosh, the color pink! Who would have guessed? But actually, like, genuinely, you have, it could be like a Glinda song, but it could also be like a Honey Pop song. Oh, ow. Ugh, that hurt. Alright, I don't really know how to end videos. I suck at ending videos. So, yeah, bye!